Okay, so our first worksheet is earthquakes, movement of the Earth's crust. And what we will be doing is we'll be reading the passage, the entire passage, and then we will be answering them, selecting the correct meanings of these four words: rupture, destruction, collapse, and predict. Okay, and what I would like you all to do is to, as you come across these words in the reading, to highlight the words. And again, you select markup, text highlighter, select your color, and you just select the word, move your cursor across, and it highlights it for you. If you highlight something incorrectly, you can always undo that. Okay, after you've read the passage and highlighted each of the words, then you'll come down and you'll select the correct meaning of these words. Select the meaning, you'll go to drawing, and you'll have a cursor here, and you can just select and move the cursor around to circle the correct answer. Of course, you'll be answering A, B, or C for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, this should take you, I'll give you 7 or 8, we'll say 8 minutes to do this, and then we will discuss the answers. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, begin reading, and complete the activity. Alright, so now that we all have our words highlighted and we have answered the questions, we'll go back and go over this quickly. We want to have, first one is ruptures. We want to have ruptures highlighted. We got it right here. There's ruptures, and as we read down, come to number 2 down here, which is destruction. Get that highlighted. Right beside it is number 3, which is collapse. Right, and number 4, we have predict. Again, I want you guys reading the entire passage, scanning for these words. It does not save you time, so just go ahead and read. Make sure you're reading them. Highlight them. And then we can answer our questions. We have number 1, correct answer, the word is ruptures. The correct answer being break, or breaks. Number 2, the word is destruction. The correct answer being damage. Number 3 is collapse, which means to fall down. And number 4, predict, which means to know a future event. Alright, if you have any of those wrong, please correct those. Okay, and now we'll be moving on to our next worksheet. Alright, over the biography of Abraham Lincoln. And this one has a writing component to it. I'm going to briefly summarize President Lincoln's life. Alright, and we all know a little bit about Abraham Lincoln, but you'll need to read the passage. Again, read the entire passage. Select at least 3 events to discuss in your summary. Add the details. Don't remember, in writing we need to add the details because we're speaking to our reader. Okay, want to add the details. So I would select 3 of the most important events, put those down, and then add the details along with them to make you a good short paragraph that briefly summarizes President Lincoln's life. Okay, and to type in to create a text box so that you can type, you just go to text box, font size, which can vary. In this case, we'll keep it on 14, and always use black. Okay, so you would just select create your text box, and then span it over here, and try to line it up with power lines. Alright, and then you can begin your summary. Abraham Lincoln, so ... Alright, so that is how you create the text box so that you can type in. Don't worry about it lining up with the lines as long as it's within that area. That's what I'm looking for. So don't stress over that. Just get the text box made so that you can type your summaries in there. Alright, we'll take 15 minutes to do this. And then I'll come back, I'll go over some of the things that you may have wanted to have highlighted. Okay, so take 15 minutes, write your summary, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video and be working on the activity. Alright, the main events, some of the main events, I'll go over the ones that you should have. Of course, everyone knows he was the president. So you do want to talk about his presidency in some form. That could have been that he became president. Okay, one in 1860. Here. In 1861, this is something good to talk about. The Civil War would be the central feature of his presidency. So as soon as he took office, wasn't long, and after that, the Civil War began. Something very interesting to want to talk about. Probably something everyone should have. Something to start out your brief summary was his birth. Okay, being born in 1809 in northern Kentucky. You may want to have that. Some of you may have put that when he was only 7, he lost his father, or his father lost his land, and the family moved to Indiana, and then he lost his mother before they moved to Illinois. You could probably get all of that in one sentence, one or two sentences. Okay. Here it says his political career began early. He was elected served in the House of Representatives before he became president. And something to lead into him becoming president. Of course, talk about the Civil War. And then later on, to end it, you can talk about his assassination, which this entire paragraph talks about. Particularly right here, which tells the date and everything, when he was assassinated and who assassinated him. As long as you have those highlights in your summary, then I think you've done a pretty good job. Alright, so now that you've completed both of these, you may go ahead and turn these in to Google Classroom, and that is the end of the activity.